Hi there, welcome back to our CSS course here at ontrackTV. In this video and the following video we're going to be looking at links. In this first part we're going to be looking at the default link styling you can do, as well as 4 different states that you can have on links and how you can style each of them. To give you an example, you can style the default look of a link and then what a link looks like when you hover over it with the cursor. We're then also going to look at text decoration. In the following video then we're going to see how we can combine several CSS properties together to make a link buttons, for instance, based on a navigation drop-down or a navigation list at the top of your website. We'll add some padding, background color, text decoration, and then hover effects. But look, enough talking from me, let's dive straight in. Links within CSS can be styled pretty much like text. So any properties that you could use on text can be pretty much used on links as well. So for example, I can do font size 20 pixels, file, save, refresh. My links get larger over here. I could do color. So for instance, if I wanted the color of my links to be red, I could do this, file, save, and refresh, and the links change like so. There are also a few states that come with links, and you can style each of these states. So for instance, we have a link, which refers to the normal unvisited links. So what the links look like when they haven't been visited. A visited is the opposite of that. It'll style what happens to the link once it has been visited, i.e. clicked by a visitor. And then we have a hover, which, as you can imagine, is the styling of when the cursor hovers over the link, what happens to it. And then lastly, we have a active, which is the styling that happens the second a link is clicked. Okay. Now, a visited, for a few different reasons, has some limitations. So some browsers will handle it differently. You may or may not see it. This is down to internet security concerns. Nothing major that you really need to worry about it. Just note that not all properties will work on it. You'll be limited to pretty much font size, font color, and a few other bits and pieces. So a linked behaves a lot like we've already seen up here. It's the normal unvisited link. So I'm just going to move from up in the A styling to down here. And this will be my stylings for my links. So it looks pretty much the same. A visited would change, and I'm not sure it'll do it in Chrome, but if I was to set it to color green, go to File, Save, and Refresh. When I click on the link, it'll open up wherever link it's going. By right, that link should now be styled green because it has been visited, but Chrome, and because of the internet security concerns, it isn't doing that. So it'll be a bit hit and miss with a visited. The state that tends to be most useful though is a hover. So what happens when you hover over the link? So for instance, I might have it as the color blue, and let's say font size 20 pixels. No, sorry, we already have it set to 20 pixels. Let's say 30 pixels, like so. File, save, refresh. So when I hover over it, it turns to blue and it gets larger. So the hover state is incredibly useful for links. And lastly, active, and I can show you this. So what happens is when you click on the link, like so, I might just have to remove the hover styling just for the moment to show this. Again, refresh. So when I click, and I'm holding down the mouse at the moment, so the minute I click, it's turned green. The minute I click, it turns green. So depending on what stylings you already have active, like you saw the hover was causing us a few problems there, this will be a bit hit and miss as well. So typically the ones you're going to be using in terms of the states will be a link and a hover for the most part, the hover being the most common one. So I'm just going to pull all that back and just have our color red for our links again, like so. There's another property we can use, and by default our links are underlined. If you want to remove this, you can use text decoration property, and typically this will either be underlined or none. And in this case, if I don't want an underline, I use none. File, save, and refresh, and it will get rid of the underlines underneath our links. In the next video, we're going to see how we can mix several properties together to style our default normal links and then style the hover effect of our links. So I shall see you in the next video.